Welcome everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. This is the BH and Scrubber show. And on today's show, we got some news for you that happened just today. Also, we're going to cover the Eagles Commanders game that happened this past Sunday. Decent game. Also, too, join us next Saturday. We're going to do a preview of the upcoming the Patriots.
Yeah.
Coming Saturday, we'll do a preview of the Patriots game, and then, of course, on Sunday at 1 o'clock, we will do the play-by-play live reaction show with me calling the play-by-play, and of course, BH will be in the live chat. So join us then on Sunday as well. So to the big news today, maybe some people have heard it, maybe some people haven't, but we traded off Montez Sweat to the Bears. And then Chase Young to the 49ers. Wow. So that's a big one. What do you think about all that, BH?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of rumors out there, and it just started to spread. And when I heard that Atlanta had a couple of people who confirmed that a third-round pick from Atlanta for Montez was on the table. That they put that out there, and more than just a few people heard that was the deal. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the Commanders told them, but I'm sure they used that and hedged their bets and told the Bears, hey, you're going to have to beat that. And I tell you, man, getting a Bears second rounder, they're struggling like we are. It could be a top 10 pick in that second round if they don't turn it around.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. But then the second one was a little surprising, in that, either one of them going was possible, but to see them both get traded, I think it just shows the new ownership group they're regrouping for next year.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've known that. I mean, no matter what was going to happen, you could just sense that Ron was a lame duck, and everybody, I'm sure the general manager, operations. I mean, who knows? Maybe this new owner's developed some relationships with those people and feels like going forward with some people in some parts of the organization. But this has the feeling of, we're going to gut it and start over. We need some extra draft picks. I thought it was great value for Montez. For Chase, not so much, because San Francisco's third rounder. I mean, they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl. Let's be honest, that's a hell of a team. Yeah. So at a minimum, they're going to be a top 4 team. So at the minimum, they'll be drafting at the end of that third round, which is almost close to a compensatory pick. But I just think it was time to move on. They weren't going to sign those guys anyway. Why jerk them around? Why put them on the franchise tag and do all that to them? And they're really not in your future. Right. And another thing too is, franchise tag is not cheap. You got to pay a guy a ton of money. And so once again, we're at the same spot, right, where we're just allocating a third of our budget for 4 defensive linemen. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't sustainable. So, I mean, overall, it was a good move. Hope those guys are happy. They're not bad guys. They did good. They're good football players. I don't think they rose to the ascendant level of top tier defensive ends, and they were going to want big contracts.
Yeah.
They were, no doubt about it. They weren't going to be happy with just some piddling $17 million a year deal. No way. But I mean, they're good, but I don't know if they were that good. But no hard feelings from me. But yeah, same you. And I just feel like that's what you do when you're going to change things around. And you got a new guy coming in. Hey, give him some draft picks, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, if you're going to have new people coming in, upper management coming in, give them some draft capital, and also, basically save on some cap space too. We've got a couple guys,
sure,
like James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill, and it'll give opportunity for Andre Jones and KJ Henry to get in there and show some of what they've got. So, I mean, we got them in the draft this past year. We might as well get them up and running too and see what they've got for the next half of the year. But I like the idea, like you're saying, if they're going to be gutting the coaching staff, and which I basically see coming, no hard feelings to anybody, but, just just like any organization, new people come in, man, they just come and gut 30%, 40% just because they don't need a reason.
Yeah,
Just do it. And they want their
exactly.
people in there, and they want their people making decisions, and not the old people. And I think we talked about earlier, like you said, the idea to get, trade these guys out, or it came from up on high, not from Ron, because it would work against Ron to trade these guys. He wants to win.
Ex-
That's his job. So
exactly.
he would want to keep them and not get rid of them. So it tells me that the upper management wanted to trade them out and get that draft capital. So I'm all good with it, man. We got guys that'll
Yeah.
fill that gap. So yeah, just keep trudging along. I see a lot of
Yep.
people freaking out there, though. God, calm down, people. Come back in off the ledge. It's okay.
Yeah.
Not that bad of
I
a
mean,
thing.
yeah, and in a way, I mean, they were just up against it. The team was underperforming.
Yeah.
I mean, they have played good. They did a great job last week. We're
I
going to
thought
talk
so.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped that run and forced them to throw. I think they only had 59 yards rushing. So they did a good job. But I wonder if that Giants game was the death knell. Not only was it the Chicago game was bad.
Right.
Then you have the Giants game is bad.
Yeah.
And that Giants, that O line with, three second stringers and one third stringer. I mean, they just had nothing but backups in there. And we did good. Actually, Chase did pretty good. I have to say, Chase dominated his guy, but we should have collapsed that line. I mean, if we're 4 first-round picks, dude, they should have dominated those guys. I mean, even more so. But anyway, I think in a way it's sort of like they looked at that and said, hey, we can get by, like you said, Hill, F.A. Obata, James Smith Williams, we can get by with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they'll be, and hey, it's kind of funny. I thought the 2 defensive ends that they got in the draft, I was scratching my head a little bit on that one when they got those, KJ,
Yeah.
when they drafted them, because I'm thinking, man, we're pretty, we got 2 good defensive ends and we're deep behind them, F.A. Hill, but maybe I don't know. Maybe they were already thinking ahead that they probably knew they're going to lose at least one of those guys.
Right.
So anyway, well, yeah, I think it's kind of exciting. So I think it's I think it's good. Like I said, no hard feelings, but you got to burn some things down to build them back up.
Yeah. 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 Wish them all the best of luck, and we'll see what the future holds for them. We're going to have to play against Chase upcoming in the season. So,
yep.
As to the Eagles game, I thought it was a good game. I had no problems with it. I called that game. I watched the whole thing. There's some abhorrent things that went on that were beyond our control. Some things were in our control, but I thought overall, like the changing of the O-line was a great idea. Having Larson there at the center was perfect. He did such a great job. I thought Chris Paul did a great job. Wiley is still Wiley. Fuck him. But I thought overall they gave Howell a good pocket, not a dirty pocket. And so when he's got a decent pocket and he's got a second to throw, he could do good. And at the same time, the coaches changed up the scheme a lot. There was probably more screenplays in that one game than we'd thrown in the whole fucking season. And a lot of delayed handoffs and a lot of crossovers, shorts, slants, and then tried a couple of shots downfield. So I thought overall our offense did a great job, scored a bunch of points. Thought it was good.
Yeah, it was. And, our DBs were challenged, but realistically, we got a great quarterback. Hurts is good. He can chuck that rock. And look at those receivers. Got a real good tight end. I mean, they're like us. Hey, they couldn't stop our weapons, and we couldn't stop their weapons. It was and that's the NFL. That happens a lot. But it was just uncanny. I mean, is Larson like the most beloved player on our team? And when he finally got a chance to start again, the whole team coalesced around him.
Yeah.
And Jahan Dotson said, finally, Larson's in at center. Yeah. Now I'm going to play, bro. Yeah. Watch me now. Watch me now. What the? I mean, everyone went nuts. Like I saw Sam backing up, and they're like you said, they fanned out and gave him a pocket. And I
Yeah.
was like, what the hell
Yeah.
happened?
It was
And
great.
then I don't know, they might be souring. They might be souring on Gates because a lot of talk about him being a center guard guy. But the truth is, they did some Ricky Strongberg and then went to Chris Paul. And Gates, he wasn't there at all.
Nope.
So
Nope.
he
Strongberg
might
hurt
be
himself
down.
too.
Yeah. And I think that's why Paul was in there. But I was kind of surprised. I thought that was kind of a thing they might kind of do, but they did not, unless they want to keep Gates on the right as the right guard. Maybe if there was an issue with Sam Cosmi, maybe Gates would have gone in there, but they just went with the other guys. But yeah, it was just really odd. I mean, when we were calling the game, dude, you were saying, it's a delayed draw, delayed handoff,
Yeah.
screenplay, and
Yeah.
we were just screaming for them. I didn't get
Yeah.
to do the show last Tuesday, but I charted all those plays from the Giants game, and I watched every play, and then I went back and then I charted either an end around, pitch, design quarterback run. I kept jet sweep and end around in the same thing,
Right.
screen, and screens and bubble screens, any screen. I don't give a, what, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I just kept them all in there. Dude, there was nothing. There
Yeah.
was nothing. There was one, I think we talked, it was one called screen. The other was a dump off. It was to AG. And there they were playing one of those things where I forget what they call that. They isolate, and what they do is the tight end goes out. They can see where the safety is. So the tight end goes. So AG goes here. So the tight end's either going to follow the safety's going to go with the tight end, or he's going to come up on AG. And the quarterback just, okay, safety comes up, I throw it there. So it was the same kind of thing. That he, got a lot of pressure, but the safety backed off with Logan Thomas, and he threw it over.
Yep.
Kind of like it was sort of a game within a game that they played. But that play was successful. And then the design screen where it was great because all the guys pulled out and went out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I mean, I don't know why we're sitting there. We're just a couple of regular guys on the internet, and we're screaming at our TV with the Giants when they're coming in at you. And Eagles have a great defensive line. You got to keep them off. And okay, enough pitching and moaning because, we can be pretty hard on EB. But you know what? He dialed up the game that we thought we were supposed to get. For the first time, we sort of got that EB flavor.
Yeah.
That we've been waiting for. I was seeing a whole lot of Scott Turner. I don't know about you.
No, you mean this last game?
No, the game before.
The game before, yeah, and even before too. Just no screens, no mixing it up, not really decent motions, that kind of stuff. But yeah, he did real good here against the Eagles, but it's almost like too little, too late. Kind of should have been doing that a little bit sooner, but that's water under the bridge. I'll take it now. They did really good. And so, but yeah, that New York game was just dull. The other thing that matches though is that our run to passing is still way too imbalanced for me. Just way, way, way. It actually got worse.
It did.
Before it was only, I forget, it was like 10 and 42 or something. Now it's like 16 and 52. So it's about the same. And 16 runs is just not enough. You're putting Sam under too many. His shoulder's going to give out. He takes too many hits, that kind of stuff. But Sam held up.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great.
He did. But I agree. It was. But I agree with you, man. Though it's very problematic to see the run pass ratio. It's actually stunning, to be honest with you.
Huge.
I mean, when you look at it on paper, you're like, we're really throwing that many times?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, speaking of Sam, 1 sack, 1 interception, 4 touchdowns, and a boatload of yards. I'm telling you, man, I mean, you can't ever go by one game because he's had some bad games. But, I mean, this guy is only 8 games into his career. I mean, you see a game like that. And in the first game against Philadelphia, I mean, you look at that guy and go, we could build around this guy.
Yep.
I mean, you see a game like that. This is a guy, and plus when you see him in the interviews, he's pretty unflappable. He's pretty low key. He's not making predictions. He's not wagging his tongue. And he faces the music after some of them dismal games. He goes and talks to the media. But that game showed me, man, there aren't. I mean, come on. You look at some of these guys trying to get by with Desmond Ridder and some of these other teams, and you look at these quarterbacks. I mean, he he was amazing out there. I mean, he was
Yeah,
chucking the rock.
I believe it.
So,
Yeah, yeah, he did a
yeah,
great
so
job. The whole
he did.
offense did a great job. Kudos. Hero of the day too. Larson was a hero. Thought Chris Paul was a hero. I thought the fucking Jamison Crowder, man, dude, that
I
guy is
know.
fucking phenomenal, dude. And he's another one of them that probably brings the heat to the offense. And people are going, hey, we got look at this guy. He runs a punt
Yeah,
back 62 freaking yards. Look at him catch the football out there. He made that touchdown catch was incredible. Also to kudos to Howell for dropping it in there. And
yeah,
yeah, he was a hero. I thought McLaren did good. He did drop a couple. Those were kind of questionable. They hurt us, but he doesn't
they
always do
did.
that. I was going to let that go. I thought Logan Thomas did really good for us. Yeah, and Jahan Dotson had a great game. Shit, Jahan was
Jahan
a
blew up.
stellar out there. So
Like where
yeah,
it makes that's the other thing that scratches your head when you see Jahan getting 3 looks and 1 catch, and he's dropping balls, and I mean he looked completely out of it. And then this was the Jahan from last year.
yeah,
Just no one can cover him.
yep.
He's got hands like glue, got a great catch radius. Doesn't matter where you throw it, he'll catch it. So yeah, man, all that I hope just continues to keep going. And maybe, if that shakeup got our team going, it's
Yeah.
fairly minor. Maybe this this shakeup is, like another one, like, and people say we're tanking. I can't see any reason to think that the team's tanking.
No.
We've got too many good players. We've got our full rotation of defensive tackles now. We're going to be still remain strong in the middle and powerful. We talked about it. We have these defensive ends are going to have to come in and play. But our first round pick Forbes has struggled, but there's reason to believe as he goes on and gets more play, he will develop. He will get better. We've got nothing from him. So I don't necessarily see a tank job here at all. And I'm hoping that
No.
this change lights a fire under the guys. Like, hey, it's a new regime.
Yeah.
You're all auditioning. You're all auditioning for a job now.
Yeah, they see that coming
So
down the line, and a good example of that is changing 2 guys on the O line, and look at what that did. Huge, in my opinion. That just a couple guys
yeah,
on the O line changed things. I think a guy like Jamison Crowder coming in helps. You know what I mean? I think it's almost like there's a lack of like true leadership among the players. Sometimes it's just like all middling players out there, and you got to pick somebody to be the captain. But it takes a person with a special leadership skill to actually be somebody to lead and not just somebody, well, oh, well, you're going to be it. It's different. And so you see these guys like Larson and Crowder come in and they spark a difference. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. So, and we need some of that
yeah,
on
me
the
too.
defense. The defense would be
We
helpful
do.
to have somebody like that as well. I don't think Jonathan Allen's it. Uh, I don't know if it's Cam Curl, and I don't. Who had the green dot on the defense? Do you know? I don't even remember. I
Well,
watched the whole fucking game. I don't think it was Mayo either because I don't
yeah,
remember seeing a green dot on
no,
him
no,
or Curl.
no. I think it was Cam. I think it had to be Cam Curl. I'll look into it, but it had to have been Cam because you got to have someone out there 100% of the time. I mean, you could have multiple green dots. You could. I guess you can say, hey, we got 2 guys we're going to take in and out to be, and so that's fine because everyone's helmet's custom. You can't just have one green dot helmet. They all are fitted. So, but I thought it was going to be Cam. He's the only guy that plays 100% of the snaps.
Mm.
And he's the only guy with enough experience to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jamin possibly. I mean, Jamin did some. I don't even think Jamin did green dot when he was middle linebacker. When they did that switch with him and Cole, Cole kept the green dot.
Okay.
I think
All
when
right.
Jamin. So I think it was Cam. I did not look at snaps either. I mean, David Mayo played a lot, but I don't think he played 100%.
And I don't remember seeing the dot
So,
on his helmet.
oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have to look into it. Well,
Well,
I think our DBs, they didn't really play that bad because, I mean, you're just going, I mean, good God, AJ Brown, man, just a man. I mean, he just kills everybody.
yeah.
It's not just us.
Right.
He just dominates. Then you throw these other good receivers in. It's just tough. You got to just battle and hope you get a turnover battle and hope you get a pass deflected. You got to go for some small victories, and we just didn't do enough. But it's not. I don't think that they played bad or anything.
All right.
Just good team.
They're just a good team. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You play against a good team. That they were the better team that day. I don't think any of our guys. It's hard to cover AJ Brown. Everybody got torched by him. St. Juice, Kendall Fuller, they all got burned by him. So not much you can do about that. Hopefully they're learning from that. And hopefully
That's
when we
true,
go
man,
up against a
he's
different team, you can bring
he's
that
torching
to
everybody.
play.
He's getting 120, 140 yards a game, dude. He's on a roll.
He's huge
too. He's just killing people.
Yeah.
So that was a genius move. Yeah, that Tennessee Titans general manager traded him to Philadelphia, and then the next year they fired him. They fired the GM that did it. Yeah. I'm sure that guy didn't go to Mike Vrabel. I can't believe Mike Vrabel gave that guy the thumbs up on that. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Yeah. So I think, overall, it's just too bad we had to come out of that awful Giants game and play the Eagles. I think if maybe we had played even, like New England, some of the other teams on our schedule, even gone to Seattle, those are good teams, but they're not the upper echelon like Phil. It was just bad timing. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good to see Sam actually, kind of show that he can really play like a pro quarterback.
Yep.
And it was good to see the O-line block. I mean, there was a lot of positives came out of that. So, I thought it was a good game. I think you showed me that insane sequence on that where they gave us a first down, and then they two guys said first down. The chains were moving first down. The clock was still running. It's you do all those things where it's a first down.
The Yahoo graphics said it was a first down. The announcers were saying it was. Everybody was saying it was a first down. That was crazy, dude. That's when I grew up watching wrestling. I didn't know it was rigged when you're a little kid, you don't know, and then you grow up and you start thinking, oh, well, some of it's rigged. No, every single bit of it is. And now you start looking at the NFL and you see something like that. Someone from somewhere up on high told them to change that because everybody on the field said it was a catch. They moved the chains. Everything was good. And then all of a sudden, wait, what happened? The clock was even still running because if it was incomplete, the clock would have stopped. Clock kept running. Everything about it was. So who got the bug in their ear that said, no, that's an incomplete? Does New York have discretion on just any play to say?
I think they can override things, sure. But it was such a clusterfuck. It looked so horribly bad. I haven't heard that the league said anything about that play or if there's been any follow-up to that. Yeah. And the problem is it was just the Commanders that it happened to. I guarantee you, man, if that happened to the Steelers or the Jets, one of those East Coast teams, those reports, oh, man, it would have been national news. Yeah. They'd have been talking about it for years.
Well, and then you got to go back to on that 4th and 1 when the Eagles pass and Devontae Smith caught that ball. It clearly bounced off the ground. And coach didn't throw the red flag in on it. Well, if New York is going to call an incomplete on us when they saw it was an incomplete, why didn't they call that one an incomplete then too? Do you see what I'm saying? And then if you go back the week before with the Eagles playing Miami, clearly I don't think they called any penalties on the Eagles and like a bunch of penalties on Miami. So I don't like to be a conspiracy guy, although I do. That stuff just looks shitty on its fucking face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're going to do one thing, if you're going to call it to one side or another, then be consistent in that. I don't give a shit. If you're going to let ticky-tack go all game, well, then let it go all game. But don't call it more on one than the other and let it go and stuff like that. So I just felt like that was really bad. But I will try and follow up on that. Maybe we'll have something for you guys Saturday.
Yeah.
I really would like to know what happened there.
Yeah, and really, when you think about it, at that point in the game, that's another thing about that situational awareness. At that point in the game, you just about got to challenge that. I know you lose a
Yeah,
timeout, but at the time, I think they had all their timeouts, right?
I believe so.
I think they did. So they
Yeah,
would have just had, okay, they would have been down to 2 timeouts, but the game was, it was clearly
on the
going down
line.
to the end.
Yeah.
And when it's that close, I think it's worth it. Even if they overruled them, I wouldn't have done it. And Ron just goes, well, we were all looking up at the screen to see if we could see the replay. But players and stuff were running and pointing and going like this.
No,
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 they
no,
were
no.
screaming. They were
Yeah.
screaming, no, no, no. We saw it. It hit the ground. But they were just looking up at the screen. He said, "Well, I called up in the booth, and they said, well, we're waiting for the replay." And then the other thing too is when the other team is like running
Yes.
balls out to
Yes.
snap the ball. Hey,
Yes.
Ron. Yeah, but Ron was looking at the screen. Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't see the Eagles like, just running downfield to snap this thing within 8 seconds to get out of there. Because if Ron had looked down and saw that, he might have gone, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm going to red flag this bad boy."
And it was
So that
such
was
a
so we got,
clear.
yeah. And you know what? Situationally, I don't care if it was like not even that clear. The way I look at it with the situation, man, I say challenge it, man. I mean, you can't wait, and especially when they're running up to spike a play real quick.
Yeah.
Man, that was, yeah. So anyway, but that you get that unfortunate thing, and you get that total screw up by the refs. And then you were right, though. I think it was like 11 penalties for Miami and 0 penalties.
Yeah.
No holding,
Yeah.
no illegal contact, no false
shit.
starts. They were perfect, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like to be that guy, but
man.
that one play against us was egregious. I mean, totally egregious. Everything said first down, caught
Yep.
pass, move the chains, everything. And then all of a sudden, Slayton down there faking an injury, and everybody's getting the bug in their ear. Oh, wait a minute, we can't do that. Yeah, it just looks stupid.
Yeah.
So
It
we
looked
had some
really
other
weird.
bad things happen too.
Yeah.
So it's just tough. It's just hard.
Yep. And when you're playing those marquee teams, they get the calls. They can roughhouse your receivers, and
Mm,
then you get a little tough on their guy, and all of a sudden you get a flag. It's the nature of the game,
yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're playing San Francisco, Philadelphia, and those kind of teams. So anyway, I'm sorry we lost, but
Yeah.
it was a heck of a game.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It was a good game. Hey, how about Joey Sly?
What?
Go, kicked a 61-yard field goal.
Oh, oh, of course. As a matter of fact, let me just say this. I look every week. Pro Football Focus puts their offensive team of the week and their defensive team of the week and their special teams. Joey Sly, Pro Football Focus,
Nice.
kicker of the week.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. And Cam Curl, I think, was one of the safeties. So
Nice.
Cam got a big thumbs up. So
I
yeah,
thought Joey Sly did a good job on the onside kick. I mean,
yeah, I did too.
so it was
And
a
most of
decent
those,
kick. I don't think that
yeah,
the guys on that side they got to practice their onside kick. You got to fucking be ready for that shit. You got to run down there and kill yourself to get to that fucking ball. You can't just
yeah.
laxadace that shit. Come
Yeah.
on, guys.
And even, even if you go down there and you hit someone early and they flag you for it, because you got too aggressive, yeah, who cares? Kick
Do
it
it again.
again.
Yep.
Yeah. Who cares? It's an onside kick. It's 1 in a million. You just got to
Yep.
go in there and crack heads and throw your body around, man. So,
Yep.
but yeah, he did do a good job. And most of those, I swear to God, 50% of onside kicks are hopeless. You and I could be out there on the hands team and get those.
Yeah.
Come on. So, well, what else you got, man?
I'm just looking over my stuff here. Julio Jones scored a touchdown on us.
Yeah, I know, man. The rich get richer. Just go out and get whoever they want.
Yeah. So
Bastards.
other than that, I thought it was a good game. I had fun calling the game.
Yep.
We were leading for a while. We let the lead go. Part of that, I think, could be attributed to not using the run game more.
Without a
that
doubt.
kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then I thought our defense did good. We turned over the ball twice within like the fucking 5-yard line.
I know.
I mean, our defense did really good there, or else it would have been, 45 or 50 to nothing. So, or 50,
Yeah.
24, whatever it was, 31. So, yeah, the defense did good there. So
They did.
that's it. That's all I got.
Good.
Just looking forward to next week.
Yeah, we'll get together on Saturday. We'll do a preview game. I think we'll have a lot more news on who the starters are going to be. It'll be interesting to see. We could talk about that a little more next week. Like, how do we run our defensive ends? Do we just straight? I mean, you got to rotate those defensive linemen. They do get winded, so it'll be nice to see how we use those guys, and if our D linemen, our new defensive ends, can step up and really, put forth a great effort. Because with our defensive tackles, we could have a really good defensive line. So, yeah, we'll do that on Saturday, and then we'll call the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm ever hopeful, dude. I love our team, and I still think we got a decent chance at doing some things. It's a tough road ahead, but look at San Francisco. They lost 3 fucking games in a row. So
yeah,
things happen. So you can only just hope for the best. They turn it around. This last week looked really good in that direction, trending in the right way, as we like to say. And so, yeah.
Sure.
All right,
hey,
my
and
man.
Even I was going to say before we go, even the announcers said what you said on the last show. They were showing the standings. They're going, here's the top 5 teams, and the rest is whoever wants it.
Yeah.
They put together a 3-game win streak. That's all you got to do, and you're in the driver's seat, man.
Yep, exactly.
So anything can happen.
Anything
can happen.
Shit, a 8 and 9 fucking standing will almost get you into the fucking playoffs, dude.
This year it might. The way it's going.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you on Saturday. Thanks, BH.
All right, man. Thanks, Scrub.